behalf of the European Commission, I greet you. The European Commission, who is, of course, as Mr. Albach has said, the manager of the Copernicus program overall, of which Sentinel-2B is a part, and of course, the owner, the future owner of Sentinel-2B within a few months' time, we hope. So when I'm here and looking forward to see the satellite, I'm looking forward as somebody like in a car show, or somebody who will see the satellite, or who will see the car, of which within a few months I will be able to put my hands on, although in this case I really will not be able to put my hands on. But I hope that it will be such a nice and shiny thing as a car,
yes.
On a car show. I hope it's shiny.
Yes.
So I'm here to say a few more words about the Copernicus program, about the wider context of the Sentinel satellite, of which we will be seeing in a few hours' time. Of course, I think Mr. Aschbacher has made about half of the points I wanted to make, but I still hope that the other half of these points will be of interest to you. So, as Mr. Aschbacher said, this is a flagship program of the European Union for monitoring the Earth, mostly for environmental and security applications, but as you will see, there are many more applications, but these are the two which are the most important and which are in the onset of the program. Mr. Aschbacher mentioned the full, free and open data policy. We very much agree that this is one of the key achievements of the program and one of the key sources of its success. We also like to emphasize that this is a tool for us for economic development. It creates jobs, and not only in the space segment, but also in the downstream segments, giving a lot of opportunities for small companies, giving value added to those Earth observation data, which will be produced by Copernicus. So, of course, business opportunities and innovation is a key element of this program. And another key element, which Mr. Aschbacher already highlighted, is that it is an operational program, providing a long-term continuity and sustainability of measurements spanning decades. And I think this is something new globally, that we are already committing for decades ahead, that these data will be available, at least the future evolutions of these data, providing continuity backwards as well, will be available for decades ahead. Now, what we want to highlight always that Copernicus is a user-driven program, and it is, for us, one of the key constituents of this program. Of course, usually, when there is a new space mission, there are user requirements behind, and the user requirements are usually coming from scientists. But for us, we would very much like to highlight that these users for whom we are doing these programs are not only scientists, and maybe not even scientists are the most important users for a program. We would consider that policymakers, all kinds of public institutions would be able to use the data and the information provided by Copernicus as much as scientists, and this is how we were building the program. This is how we were setting up the program to enable that. And of course, key users are also commercial users and a lot of other constituencies. But for us, the policy use of Copernicus and the public use of Copernicus is of key interest. Now, this is what we would like to highlight. That Copernicus is not only about the space component. The space component are the satellites, what we are building, plus, of course, contributing missions from other satellites. But for us, it is equally important that Copernicus has services, and this is the service component. And we consider this a key innovation of Copernicus. I think it is not reproduced to this day globally by any other space power to have these value-adding services and processed information on top of the data. As Mr. Aschbacher mentioned, Copernicus and Sentinels produce data. The Copernicus services produce processed data, basically information, which can be readily available and can be readily used by all those users who are not experts like scientists. It's only scientists who can readily use space data because they have the expertise, they have the tools for it. But for us, it is important that the Copernicus information is already readily available for use for example, public policy, as I mentioned. And this is why we have done these services on 6 thematic areas. I will show you. These services rely, of course, first and foremost on Sentinel data, but they also use data from other missions, what we call Copernicus contributing missions. These are other space missions, of which we are buying the data for the use of services first and foremost. And it is also relying on the so-called in situ component, so it also uses in situ data measured by various other sources on the ground, in the air, balloons, whatever. This is what we call in situ data. And what the services do, they are integrating these 3 sources, different sources of data, produce coherent information that is very easily digestible and readily usable by a wide user community. So this is what we consider the key innovation of Copernicus, and the feedback from other space powers show that they are sometimes envious of these new elements, these services elements, what we add to Copernicus. I think this is something which was already shown by you, how many sectors are actually benefiting from Copernicus, and we will have examples in the future, so I will not dwell on this anymore. Just wanted to show you basically the same thing what I discussed already, that Copernicus has these 3 components, the space component, the services component, and the in situ component. And of course our partnership with ESA is first and foremost on the space component, where we entrusted ESA to be the technical coordinator of the space component, and we use the word system architect for the space component. So we are very happy that we have this partnership with ESA, that we could entrust this task of building a space system, of which they are the best experts in Europe. But of course we also have missions operated by EUMETSAT. So Sentinel 1, 2, 3 will be operated by ESA, the land component of Sentinel 3, while Sentinel 4, 5, 6 will be operated by EUMETSAT. 4 and 5 actually just instruments flying on EUMETSAT missions. So these are the 2 partners with whom we do the space component. The services component we do with many different entrusted entities depending on the specific area. These are mostly European agencies, like for example ECM WF for the Marine Service, which is marine monitoring, the European Environmental Agency for the Land Monitoring Service, the JRC also in the land monitoring and the environment, and the Emergency Management Service. So basically these are all those thematic agencies who know the users in the field and who have that expertise in the field to be able to process the satellite data and provide information for their user communities. And the in situ component is mostly done using the inputs directly offered by the European member states, because it's the member states who are in control of those in situ measurements that we will use for Copernicus purposes. Now, of course, I will not talk too much about Sentinel-2 because I think the future presentations will go into details about it. What I just want to highlight with this slide is that there are basically 4 Copernicus services, 4 of the 6, which will very heavily rely on the data coming from Sentinel-2. Sentinel-2 is optimized for land observations. Of course, it's of no surprise that it's the Copernicus Land Service, which will be its key user service. But in fact, Sentinel-2 and Sentinel-2B as well will give very useful contributions to the Copernicus Security Service, the Copernicus Emergency Service, and the Copernicus Climate Change Service as well. So I don't really want to go into details about these services right now. We don't have the time for that. I will just invite you to visit the website copernicus.eu, and there you will readily find information of all 6 of these services, with whom is it working, who are doing them, what are the actual outputs of these services, what they can do for this wide user community I mentioned. I just still wanted to show you just one slide of each service, which Sentinel-2B will contribute to. Of course, the emergency management services, I mentioned that It is the European Commission's Joint Research Center who is managing this service, and it's already have been a very huge source of information for all kinds of emergencies, from fires to floods to earthquakes. Like the recent earthquake in Italy, the emergency service was activated then, and it provided very useful information for its mitigation and of course mostly for learning new information for the future, how to deal with these earthquakes in the future. I don't think I will go into these details. Again, you will find all this information in the web if you are interested in the emergency management service details. Just wanted to show you another slide about the land monitoring service. It has three components which are actually operated by different entities. The global component, which basically provides global maps, large-scale maps for the whole globe, while the pan-European component will concentrate just on the European landmass. You can read here what kind of mosaics and pictures and other products it provides. And of course the local component, which is of very good use for whatever regional public entities who will want to use Copernicus. This is the component where, for example, agricultural use, crop monitoring is of key importance. These are high resolution images actually, showing regional and local parts of Europe. So you can do urban atlases from cities, you can do riparian zones, coastline zones, you can do vegetation indexes, all kinds of products are listed in the website of the Land Service, which I hope that you will visit after this presentation. The security service, I think it's clear that today this is becoming more and more important in our world and of increasing importance. We do border surveillance in our partnership with the European Border Surveillance Agency, Frontex. We do maritime surveillance in partnership with the Maritime Safety Agency, the European Maritime Safety Agency, and of course support the EU external action, mostly through our partnership with SATSEM, which is the latest element of the Copernicus partnerships. Actually, it has been just signed with the European Union Satellite Center in a month, in October. So with this, basically, we have concluded all our agreements, delegation agreements. All these services now are in place and operational as of a month ago. So this is an important development and milestone for us. And the only one which I have left out yet is the climate change service. Of course, climate change service relies first and foremost on atmospheric information, for which not Sentinel-2 is the satellite. But also, I was surprised to learn when talking to our colleagues that lots of Sentinel-2 data will also be used for the climate change service, which, as Mr. Ashwaher said, for the ESA climate initiative, this also will contribute to a very significant set of the essential climate variables to this global effort on learning as much about climate change as possible. The essential climate variables is just one element of this, but of course the climate change service also supports mitigation and adaptation strategies, contributes to global regional reanalysis, so it's really a large-scale effort led by the ECMW, the European Center, which has the highest expertise, not just in Europe, but also globally in the field of climate change and long-term climate predictions. So this is what I wanted to say about the 4 services which use Copernicus or Sentinel-2 data. Of course, the other 2 services, the marine service, just to mention, and the atmosphere service, are using Sentinel-1, Sentinel-3, 4, 5 data. So this is why we have a large set of Sentinels, because each of these services will be dedicated at different types of data for its use. This example is just wanted to highlight one on the agriculture sector. I understand that we have we will hear much more of these examples. So again, I will not dwell too much on this. Just wanted to highlight as conclusion how we consider Copernicus. This is the European Union's Earth Observation and Monitoring Program, and we hope that this is really a very, very significant part of the overall European Earth observation effort. Thank you very much.